Good luck.
Thank you, AEtienne. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wéko. This is a cute little indie game by a French development team, I believe. So, yeah, shout out to Zero Games for making this game. And oh, whoops, I started a bit prematurely. Yes, time starts now, I guess. Sorry. Actually, it's fine. Usually, when we do runs, we only start the timer as soon as the first text box is gone. So, like, I know what I'm doing. Trust me. Yeah, in this game, we're this little green guy. You don't really know what you're doing at the start. You just come out of this portal and you've lost your memory. So at first, we're just trying to figure out who we are, what we're doing here, and how to get out of this cave, because the main door is closed. So at first, we will head over here through some obstacles, if I can do that correctly. Then we will talk to our old friend, at least according to him. We've never met the guy, but at least we don't remember meeting him, so maybe we have met him. Now we come to the first trick, if I can pull it off. There's this elevator there, but it's, well, I guess now I take the elevator. The launch wasn't quite high enough. But yeah, by rolling and jumping at the same time into collision that is angled the right way, we can launch ourselves. Oh, wait, I need this box. Yeah, we can launch ourselves quite high if the collision is shaped just right. There it's a relatively small launch, just to get up to the switch a bit faster. Sadly, I missed it a bit. Next up, we'll come over here and pick up our main weapon for the run. This is just the basic bladed weapon. There's two other weapons in the game, but sadly they are too far out of the way, so we don't really go for them. But this one is good enough for anything. Now we have a small time challenge to get out of this room before the door closes again. And yeah, as soon as I picked up the sword, you also saw me use the second movement tech in this game, which is I don't know if it has an official name. I'll just call it the sword dash. It's basically where I do this, and well, it's fine. Yeah, I dash forward with the sword, and afterwards I can initiate a roll right after the dash, and I can cancel that roll into a jump. It's a very specific interaction, but effectively that allows me to... Oh, whoops, that was the wrong button. What that allows me to do is jump very far and very fast. So it will be the main movement method you will see me use, at least when I have to go long distances in a straight line, since there's not a lot of air control in the game. So I can't really use it to turn corners. But here, for example, you can see you can do very long bunny hops by slashing and then launching ourselves. And now that we've activated the switch over there, the big door is open when we can finally leave this cave to emerge into the Hoshi forest. Yeah, usually here the game kind of introduces basic combat and missions, but we won't really be doing any of that. The only thing that I'll do here is interact with this Toro, which are the game's safe stations, that kind of like campfires in Dark Souls. Effectively, you respawn at them, and you can... I'm not sure if Dark Souls lets you walk between them. Maybe it's a bad example to pick if I've never actually played the game, but, you know, fake gamer. Anyways, yeah, ignore all of that. This is how you're supposed to go through this area. Don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing. I just have to line myself up correctly here. Get up onto this. Launch over there. Get onto this. And now there's a tricky bit here that... Oh. Oh my, I actually managed to get it.
Nice.
That is a strat that I found very recently, which is a very tricky launch, but it avoids a cutscene trigger that it's, yeah, it's literally right there. And it's like a 20-second long cutscene that I avoid by just jumping across.
By the way, Leemyy trained this trick during hours this morning and was barely about to doing it.
Yeah,
and to see that first try, that's crazy great.
Yeah, I was struggling to figure out how it works. I think I've kind of got it figured out now, but I'm still surprised that I managed to get it. Very happy with that. Yeah, now we're just talking with the mayor to unlock the door to the beach. Usually the game expects you to go to the beach right away after you've talked to the mayor to actually save the citizen that was abducted, but I'm sure it's not that urgent. They can wait a bit. I'd rather go to the forest. So we'll come over here, launch over an invisible barrier that usually stops us from going here. And since the door to the forest is open, we can just leave. Yeah, you can see we have opened the dark forest. Our little companion Oz has a few lines to say about this. Sadly, we don't really interact much with him in this speedrun since most interactions are kind of slow, but I will come over here in order to pick up some extra cash, since there's a few things that I want to be buying during the run, and this chest has a 150. I believe the currency is called souls. Oh, I managed to get out at first try. Yeah, and there's 2 chests that have 150, which are really valuable to go for, and then there's a few other chests that I will go for, which have 20. You already saw me pick up one at the very start of the run. Also another Toro here that I want to activate, since I'll have to come back to this area later. And now there's another cutscene trigger right there that I want to avoid, so I'll jump off the side of this instead of taking the straight path. And next up, we go even deeper into the forest through this small little door. And now I'll just be walking around to pick up some money along the way. So Etienne, if there's any messages you have?
Before any messages, I have a question. There is no experience in the game?
No, there's no experience. There's just the souls. They kind of function a bit like experience in some ways, because you can also buy stat upgrades with them, but yeah, no experience, no leveling or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
I think it's fine. It takes a bit of damage here. You're not supposed to go here until later. It's supposed to require a stat upgrade, but I just kind of jumped over that.
Okay, no, nothing too bad, unfortunately. So I would take this tiny times to speak a little bit about our sponsors, because Plaion is a major distributor of physics games from Sega, Activision's, Koei Tecmo, Capcom, Giant Software, and more. They are also known for publishing awesome titles like Dead Island 2 or Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So you can check Plaion on our TikTok and Instagram under the handle at PLAION_BNL. Thank you a lot for their sponsor.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, there you saw me beat up. I think those were the first enemies in the run. I tend to lose track of these things, but I believe that was the first combat that I actually did after I skipped the intended combat earlier in the forest. Yeah, I needed to beat up those guys so I could talk to the oracle who was standing next to the door, who would then open up our, well, it's our first dungeon. It's not the game's first dungeon, but we're speedrunners. We do things in other orders if it makes us go faster.
As long as it's not the water temple, that's fine.
Yeah, no. Luckily it's not the water temple, but it does have poison on the floor, which is arguably worse. But optimally, I won't touch any of that, so... Yeah, there's a small trick I have to do here. Oh, wrong button. Where, since I usually here I'm supposed to have a hang glider, but I kind of skipped that. So what I need to do here is, well, you'll see what I'm trying to do when that happens. Like usually you can see there, the jump pad kind of launched me up a bit. Usually you would use this airstream to fly up with the hang glider. But what I'm trying to do is instead jump at the same time as I enter the effective area of the jump pad, which should stack my jump on top of the jump pad's jump. But I'm struggling a bit right now. There we go. Yeah, and then I get up here anyways. Oh, I hope this enemy doesn't fall down. I need these enemies to stay up here so that I don't have to go down to defeat them. And also, like usually you're supposed to come over here with the hang glider, but again, since I can just launch myself across huge gaps with the sword slash tech, I can do that. And completely avoid having to use the hang glider here. Now there's a little room with a few switches that you have to hit in quick succession. Whoa. No! That is not great. I should have healed there. Luckily the teleport is already active, but this will send me back a bit since I didn't take the save in the dungeon, but that's fine. We have plenty of time. I guess I can take this time to explain kind of another tech that I have been using a lot, but not really explained yet, which is the jump slash. You can see when well, as soon as the loading screen is done, if I jump and do an attack, you can see Wéko kind of does this overhead slash. And that has some nice properties. Whenever you start a jump slash, it actually resets your vertical momentum. So if I'm falling and I start a jump slash, I can cancel fall damage with it. And you can also see when I do a normal launch, it kind of launches me this far. But this gap is too far usually. But if I just jump slash halfway through it, you can see it acts almost like a double jump. So I can cross even wider gaps this way.
Yeah, because this game has falling damage, if I'm right, yeah.
Yeah, it does have fall damage. It's not very punishing usually, but if you go for the same trick over and over and you always take like 10 chip damage, it does add up. But yeah, you can avoid all the fall damage if you're careful by just jump slashing. Okay, this time let me be a bit more careful about these purple thingies. There we go. I have a very bad habit of not looking at my health bar and then being horribly low when I enter a room. Let me just equip this. Yeah, here you can see I got the first item. Okay, that's... Let me... This is not quite going as intended, but I didn't die. That's good. Yeah, I picked up the boomerang. It's the first active item I picked up. Usually it's supposed to be the second, since this is supposed to be the second dungeon, and the hang glider would be the first. But I go for the boomerang first, since it is by far the most useful tool for fighting bosses, since it does extra damage while I'm hitting them with my sword. Speaking of which, usually you're supposed to drop those blocks down to cross this gap, but since we have insane jumping tech, we can just cross that gap with a few well-placed hops, and now we've already entered the boss fight for this dungeon without doing much of anything. Also, I just want to point out this beautiful boss entering animation. Wéko just comes in and falls flat on his face. Yeah, welcome to our first boss. This is Gorifiki. At least I think that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. I'm not quite sure about the exact pronunciation of any of the names. Yeah, this gorilla, he has... he's a bit out of control because he's put on one of the 7 sin masks. You can see he's wearing a mask, which is making him, well, a bit more violent than he would otherwise be, at least according to the Oracle. So, of course, we have to subdue him by kicking his ass, quite literally in this case.
You remember me a lot about a boss in Twilight Princess, to be honest.
Yeah, you can see while the boss is vulnerable, I'm using my boomerang and melee attacks at the same time to kind of get in extra damage. For this boss fight, I haven't quite figured out a way to two-cycle him yet, sadly, so the best I can do at the moment is 3 cycles, so I'm not trying super hard for this fight in particular. But for the upcoming fights, I have strats that should allow me to two-cycle them if I do them right, so hopefully we get to see that. For now, I should be able to finish the boss off here. There we go. That's the first boss down.
Upon discovering the boomerang mask,
It's a small cinematic, but of course we skip it because we're trying to go fast. And now the Oracle has stepped in and put the gorilla back in his cage. Also, we've taken the mask off of him and we're just gonna take possession of it, since clearly they are dangerous artifacts, but we are somehow immune to them, at least seemingly, so yeah. We'll just take it so that it doesn't affect anybody else negatively. Now I'll just quitting back out to the main menu, since I need to go to an entirely different area anyways, and when I quit out and load back in, it spawns me right next to my last save point, which also acts as a fast travel point. And otherwise, I would have to walk all the way back out of the boss fight area to the latest save point, and that's slower. Buy something? No, buy the right thing, please. Need to make sure that I don't spend money that I can't afford to spend. There's a few items that I need to buy in this run, so it would be kind of bad if I accidentally bought the wrong thing. Though I did just buy the most important item. One of the 2 very important items which actually are required for this story to progress. Usually, yeah, this painting, there's a guy locked into this building who wants this painting. Usually we would have to go on a... What am I doing? We would have to go on a separate quest to... I can either hop short or long. That's interesting. What? Okay. Okay, usually I don't struggle with that one so much. I'm not sure what's going on. There we go. You can see there's an interact prompt here. We can just kind of return his painting through the wall. The reason why I didn't just enter the building is because he's locked in, so we can't really... We're not really supposed to be able to talk to him. But by getting up here, We can first hang up his painting through the wall and then talk to him through the wall, and he'll just kind of, as a gesture of thanks, he'll give us this mask that he has. Which isn't important quite yet, but we'll need that later. Anyways, now I will move on. Oh, these fences have surprisingly high hitboxes. Yes, now I will travel just one safe travel point back to save a bit of time in order to get to the beach. This is where you might remember from like 15 minutes ago when the mayor told us to go there. Now we're finally going there, since the door is already unlocked. So yeah, this is a relatively early game area, so there isn't really anything spooky going on in this area, but it's just nicer to pick up the boomerang first and then come here.
To get some extra DPS, I guess.
Yeah, otherwise the boss fight in here, in this area, it's technically possible to two-cycle it without the boomerang, but I'm not sure if it's like consistently possible or random, because sometimes the boss just takes extra damage, and I'm not sure what from. So I'd much rather do it with the boomerang where I can consistently two-cycle. There's a bunch of enemies here, but we can just kind of run past everything. Usually we're supposed to talk to this golem over here and help him free the other golems who've kind of been turned to stone, and as a thanks, he'll activate a teleporter to... Oh, did I miscount? We will see later if I miscounted or not. But instead of using the teleporter, we're just gonna use our amazing jump slash to make our way over to these rocks. Then we make our way over to this rock that's just tall enough to refresh our stamina on. And then we swim the rest of the way over to this island.
So convenient to have this rock on this
Yeah,
room.
it's incredibly convenient. Then we just launch up here. Since usually you're not supposed to be here, the teleporter you can see over there, that's where it would take you. So there's an invisible wall very tall above that fence, so we need to go up very high in order to... do I have... Yes, I have the boomerang equipped. So we kind of need to get up high to get over the invisible wall. And now we have the second boss fight, which casually playing would be the first boss fight.
You will once again facepalm the ground, I guess.
Yes, that is a very consistent theme with these boss entries. And yeah, the boss is also a golem. I believe this is actually the brother of the golem on the beach. I'm not sure about the exact family relations. He's somehow related to the golem on the beach who would have asked us to free his friends and family, but we kind of just ignore that and went straight for this, because we're trying to go fast here. We don't have time for that sentimental stuff. Okay, I'm not sure what he's doing right now. He's just kind of walking menacingly. That's... Can we, like, do anything? Okay, he's... Are you jumping to the middle? No, you're not jumping. Okay. How do you feel about jumping to the middle, though? That would be cool. If you jump to the middle so I can attack you again? Okay, no, we're doing more attacks. Come on. He's not usually this unwilling to cooperate. I don't know what I did to him. I just beat him up a little bit. Okay, that was kind of close to not making it because my boomerang just didn't want to throw there for a while, but still got the 2-cycle.
I see now why it's so important to get the 2-cycle on this boss.
Yes,
because, yeah.
yes, it takes a long time to sometimes for him to become vulnerable. So by being able to two-cycle him, that avoids a lot of time loss. Yeah, with that we get our second mask. I believe this is the Pride mask. I kind of lost track of which one is associated with which sin. Yeah, and also the golem unlocked the vault for us. Usually, casually, the reason why we came over here in the first place is because one of the villagers went to the beach and never came back, and it turns out that this guy kind of imprisoned that villager in his vault. So now he unlocked the vault so we can free the villager, but we're actually not gonna do that because I'm pretty sure he can find his own way out. It's not that big a deal. He'll be fine. Oh, nope, the boomerang kind of likes to lock onto the wrong switch here, so I guess I have to just hit them myself. Nope, there we go. Usually this is a Simon Says puzzle, but the combination is always the same, so I can just kind of hit them in the right order without having to do much of... right, there's a cutscene trigger there. Yeah, here we get the hang glider that I talked about earlier. Usually, there's like an entire vault here, entire like sub-dungeon that you get to explore, but I don't really need anything from it. Usually you would free the villager, which would allow you to progress in the story, but I've already kind of skipped past that point. So freeing the villager is just gonna slow me down. Instead, I'll just hope that he makes his own way out and continue on my merry way. So next up, we will just travel back to the Dark Forest village.
Oh my god, you skip so many checkpoints.
Yeah, that's maybe a few that we didn't go to, some sub-areas. Oh, mustn't forget to avoid the cutscene trigger again. Yeah, and with that we have entered Dodo Village. Very pleasant music. And also kind of a cool little area. It functions as like a semi-hub where there's like other areas branching out from here. But we won't be seeing much of that. I'll just kind of head over to the other end of the village in order to talk to the shopkeeper, who's set up shop over here as well, in order to buy one item from him, which is the Hurricane Boomerang. This little thing doubles the damage that our boomerang does, so it's quite useful. I will be equipping that momentarily, but first I have to get another item. And in order to do that, I'm once again skipping a bunch of story by getting up on... Oh, Wéko, please. Can you stop vibrating and cooperate? Okay, he didn't stop vibrating, but he did cooperate, so... That's good. Yeah, we're gonna talk to the princess. Usually, I mean, everybody in the village says that the princess is sick and we need to find like a cure for her. But if we just come in through the back door, she seems pretty fine, honestly, so I don't know, maybe she's just having a bad day and doesn't want to talk to people. Or she doesn't want to go to school and just pretended like she was sick, I don't know. Anyway, she's still thankful to us for curing her, I don't know. Maybe she's trying to keep up the charade or something. So she gave us this mask, which I hopefully can equip. No, that's not what I'm so... I know which button. That's what I'm supposed to equip. This mask, or the hood, lets us go into a cold area without freezing. which is required here, because otherwise we'd just constantly be shivering and we couldn't do anything to get through this area. Yeah, usually I think the villagers send you here in order to talk to the big guy, Tengu, all the way over there. Say hello to Tengu. We won't be talking to him. Instead, we'll just come over here and shove our face into these ice spikes and walk straight over to this boss area, where hopefully I get to show off a very tight 2-cycle strat, but we will see how it goes.
Bruh.
It's so good every time. And here he can lead with an attack where he just drops ice spikes randomly from the ceiling, and if you're not ready for that, they'll just hit you. And then the next attack he does, yeah, see these ice crystals here, they spawn in random locations, so if you're standing in the wrong spot, they'll just spawn right above you. You won't have time to dodge. It'll knock you down, and then the laser hits you, and the laser is a one-shot attack. So he can just one-shot kill you, basically, which is quite rude. Luckily, I know to avoid that. Now I'm just waiting for one of the damage indicators to appear on me. This is not looking good. That was just about too little. Maybe I can salvage it in the second phase, but that was not enough damage. I kind of was struggling to get the boomerang out. I'm not sure why.
You will need a crazy DPS on the second phase, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna happen, but we'll see. Okay, this is... Okay, it's barely still cover. That won't work though. I can just use the other side though. I'm just using these ice pillars as cover from his charge attack and also against his ranged attack. No. Nah, it's not gonna be enough. Yep. Yeah, there you can see the tiny little sliver that's remaining. That's... Oh, whoa, okay, he's starting right with a laser attack. I did not expect that. Good thing it has a very obvious crackle sound effect, otherwise I probably would have just gotten taken out there. Now let me heal so I don't die to him. That would be embarrassing. Okay, he doesn't like that I'm in cover. He's just kind of rapid firing.
This is so scary.
It is a bit sketchy, but after a while you learn that you're actually pretty safe behind this ice pillar. So you relax a little. Oh wait, I don't need the extra damage anymore. It's... Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Wéko managed to collect the twisted
Oh, okay.
We apparently lose the capture, but the tech is on it, so...
saving her life.
Yeah, I will pause right as... I can just let this cutscene run.
So I will take a little bit of this times because, yeah, apparently for some reason we lose the capture, but that will come back in a few seconds, I guess. There we go, it's back. So I mean, we can. The timer is on, so you can skip the cutscene if you want. So,
Okay.
anyways. So yeah, I will take the times about some dialogues to speak a little bit about the incentive, because there is a bid war actually where absolutely that just begins and we still don't have any euros on it, which is the language selection for Sonic Adventure 2 battle between English and Japanese. Both of them are still at €0, so you can literally decide with just for example, €5 to decide if it will be in English or in Japanese. And remember, for €5 donations, you will be in the pool for the selection for the prize that you can see on the bottom left of the screen. So if you want to snipe it, this is the moment, because Sonic Adventure 2 will come later during this day.
All right, yeah. Thank you for that. And now we're back to Dodo Village, since that's the last save we interacted with. And now I'm heading over here. There's like a barrier here that I could blow up, but I can also just do this. Launch all the way up, and then just cancel fall damage over here. And now we're entering the graveyard. The graveyard is... I mean, I like the atmosphere of it. The design is very beautiful. But sadly, it is also basically a triple fetch quest. And we just have to carry 3 items around very slowly. And there's not much else we can do. Technically, the door to the next area is right underneath that center part. And it's always loaded, just under the ground. We have even, oh, but that's the wrong item. We have even found a way to get out of bounds and underneath the main plane of the map. The problem is we just don't have enough horizontal mobility to reach the door before we fall underneath its level. So it just barely isn't reachable. So instead we have to do everything in the graveyard more or less as intended. Which mostly consists of fighting multiple of these enemies with sword and shield. They are a bit tricky. Casually, they can definitely mess you up quite badly. If I do it right, they won't hit me at all, but I have no doubt that they'll hit me a few times. Using the boomerang really helps to keep them at bay, since usually when you hit them while they have their shield up, while they're blocking, they will immediately counter, and you don't really have enough time to like do anything except dodge away. But they will also counter in response to the boomerang. So what I do is I throw the boomerang, and then shortly afterwards I do a melee attack, and then I can basically attack them before their counter attack goes through, which interrupts their counter attack, and then they're staggered for a while. There we go, that's the first of 4 little eye rocks that we have to position around this central area. The second one we don't have to fight for, we just have to go over here. Oh, okay, it didn't open up. It probably needs, okay, it needed a microscopic push. Yeah, picking this up, also bringing it over to the next area. And then, yeah, I'll just do the same fight that I just did against that one guy again, twice more. So this would be a good time for some messages if you have any.
Sure. So another incentive for, if you interested enough, for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle will also happen later. Will be to if it met, it's actually at €60 on 200, if I'm right. And if it met, the runner will do a race on the last story of the game. So you can keep donating to fill this incentive. It still needs €140. And also remember that all of your donations going to Mind, which is an organization who who prevents mental health issue. Mind strive to provide the support to individual and family facing mental health challenge, and everything that you're donating for the incentive, for the bid war, and so on during this whole week will go to Minds. So thank you a lot for all of your donations, and thank you a lot also in the chat for the subscription that will help us to still organize BSG in the future. I
Yeah.
love the music of this game, by the way. So it's
The what?
The music of this game. That's
Oh,
so
yeah,
chill.
Yeah, the music is very nice. It always matches the atmosphere, but it doesn't like impose itself on you and get in the way of the gameplay. It's good without being like taking the show away. Now we have the last fight against this guy. Oh, he doesn't see us. That's convenient.
No backstab.
Sadly, no, there is no backstab. Oh, that is a bit sketchy. I will just take some distance and heal. Luckily, he was just over there blocking. Oh, whoa, whoa, please do not, sir. Sir, I need you to not. Okay, that's rude. I'll just heal again.
Safe strat.
Before he gets any
Oh my
ideas.
god.
Yeah, he still did hit me, so good thing I healed there. Okay. Now we just have to push this thing into position, and then luckily we are coming up on the end of the graveyard area. There's a lot of little side areas here too, and you might have noticed in the background of one of the areas where I was fighting, there was also a huge tablet in the background with, I believe, thanks to all of the early supporters of the game, I am not 100% sure of that, but I believe that's what that is. Yeah. I was kind of too busy fighting at the time to point it out. But yeah, here we can see the door that I was talking about earlier. It's actually always there, right underneath the map. And you can actually see it if you go out of bounds and peek under the map. You can see it, and we can like almost get to it, but we fall just short. And I tried it. I tried with just no clip to go down there, and it is also interactable. So if we managed to get there, it would actually be possible to get to this area right away without having to do any of the fetching all of the eye rocks that I just did.
So the only issue is just movements, basically.
Yeah, it's just the movement. Like even with the insane movement tech that I have, it's still not enough to reach it. It's quite far. I'm somehow lower on money than I was. Weird. Okay, I must have done my math. Well, that's not so bad. I can just not buy the extra stamina mask. Must have forgotten to pick something up or something. I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't matter. I'll be fine. I got the important item, which is the lemon juice. This guy is actually asking for orange juice, but we just give him lemon juice anyways. It's close enough. I figure it won't be a problem. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh. Well, that's...
His allergy. That's... Well, too bad.
Yeah, we just... I don't know. We just kind of killed him, I guess, and now we're looting his corpse for his mask. It's kind of macabre if you think about it, but you know, we had good intentions. That's what counts, I think. Hopefully. Okay, barely landed there. I mean, we did get his race ticket, so I don't technically need to go up here in order to enter the race area, but this is slightly faster, so I'm going this way anyways. Now I just need to, thank you, equip that. And yeah, we obviously have another boss fight coming up, right? This is a boss door, everybody knows that. So... Oh, that's... more. This boss seems to have a few minions. Well, it's gonna be a more difficult fight. Obligatory face plant.
Mamma mia.
Yes, our little familiar Oz is pointing out this is not actually a boss area. This is just a racetrack. So instead of fighting a boss over here, we will just do a little race. So we just go over here to talk to Lastrana, who I guess she just kind of likes watching races. So she's like, hey, I'll give you the mask that I have if you just win in my race. How about that? So we agree to that. Seems fair enough. Sadly, the guy we have to carry us is not quite up to the task to win the race by himself. But luckily, we have advanced strategies at our disposal, also known as cheating. I mean, the intended shortcuts. Whoop. Okay. So yeah, when you just take those two shortcuts through the spike barriers, you can win quite easily, as long as you don't accidentally run into the spikes and get knocked back and lose 5 seconds or something like that. But who would ever do that?
Wéko ventured into the depths of the underground beneath the grave.
Just going... Okay, I just missed that. Luckily I have this guy now. He can take me through the poison, so it's not as slow as it usually would be to land on that. There we go. Briefly had to remember what's the next area that I need to go to.
Seems you have a lots of backtracking when you do this game casually also.
Yeah, this is an area that you find relatively early on. Like before you meet the second boss, you come here and you probably will go through this door here. And at that point you'll see these two portals which look very familiar somehow. But when you interact with them, you can't actually activate them at the time, since these tabs you can see at the top signify the masks we had to pick up. And you do actually need all the masks. So the game actually checks for all the masks that are listed on the portal when you try to activate one of the portals. So I have tried, but none of the masks in this game are actually skippable, because the last portal has a requirement for all the masks. And it does actually check for all of them, unlike a lot of other games, which just kind of go like, if you have the most recent one, you probably got all the others as well. Nobody would ever skip something. But yeah, sadly, or maybe luckily, we can't skip any of the masks here, so there's a bit more to the speedrun. How do I... Oh yes, over here. Yeah, now we have entered an area that might be somewhat familiar if you've been paying... Oh, whoops. If you've been paying attention to previous areas we've entered. Oh. Yeah, usually here you're supposed to bring these tiny little totems. Like each one of them has like a challenge associated with them that you're supposed to pass in order to get the totem out of there. But that's slow. So instead we just kind of cheat. No, I can just stay on this.
That's no cheating, that's speedrunning.
Exactly. It's not my fault that they didn't make the barriers thick enough to not grab the item through. Oh, not quite enough height. Oh, what? Wéko, please. Can we get up? Yes, we can. Then we just need to wiggle in front of the door. Did I not place it right? That is... Oh, no, there we go. Just had to find the right spot.
Oh, this is so scary. You can kill the run by putting it in a wrong position behind the door, so...
Yeah, that is a bit spooky. I was a bit worried there. I would have had to, like, just load back to the previous save, Luckily, it remembers the other statue that I put. Wait, what? I went past one of them. Wait, what's the entrance that I didn't go to? Oh, the one that's still blocked off, probably. That would make sense. Well, actually, it's over here, but like, yeah. Okay, this time maybe position it better. That looks okay, I think. We launch ourselves up here, and we're over. So now I just... come on. It has the pickup prompt, but it doesn't... Usually these are way more willing... Okay, I don't know why
that was weird, honestly. How did that catch?
I don't know why that worked and the previous ones didn't, but I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm just glad it worked. Usually they are more cooperative and way easier to pick up through those walls. I guess I just positioned them kind of badly. But yeah, as you might have noticed, this is actually a way colder version of Dodo Village we've seen previously. In the story, what we did is actually these portals, they don't just lead to other places, they also lead to other periods in time. So we've actually gone to the past, to Dodo Village, how it used to be. And yeah, it actually used to have the sloth mask here, and the sloth mask was making everybody kind of, what's the word? Not lazy, but I mean lazy, I guess it's kind of similar. So nobody felt like doing anything, and their central heating, which is those statues, got broken, but nobody was motivated enough to do anything about it. So they just kind of, yes, that's what I need. They just kind of lived with that until we came through.
And now we go back to the future.
Yeah. We go back to the future in order to then go back into the past again through this other portal.
Oh yeah, because there is an extra mask here. There's 5 of them now.
Yeah. We picked up an extra mask, and now we're gonna use that here in order to go through this portal. And this actually brings us to, well, it's called Narcissio Village. But this is actually the very first area that we entered. Well, the second one if you count the tutorial cave. This is the outdoors area we got into right after we left the tutorial, the Hoshi Forest. In the past, it's evidently not called Hoshi Forest. And there's kind of an ominous tower. That is guarded by a rhino that, well, actually you encounter this rhino guy before in the future guarding Lustrana's palace, but we kind of didn't do that. Okay, this guy is cooperating, maybe, hopefully. Alright, okay, that was nice. So that guard that I just launched off of, he's actually on a cycle, and if you're unlucky, he will walk away before you get to him, and then it takes 2 minutes for him to get back into position.
That was 2 minutes saved, you can, in fact.
Yeah, it could be a 2-minute time loss if you're not there in time. It's really bad. I think it's consistent when you enter the area for the first time and you have all the items equipped correctly, so you don't get the extra dialogue of saying, hey, you should be prepared. Oh, I have. Then he's always in position for a few seconds. So as long as you don't take too long to launch off of him, you're fine. But when you're trying to practice that trick, it's a real pain because obviously you don't know how to do it. And then after a few seconds, he just walks away and then you just sit there for a few minutes and you can't really practice it. We have to fight 2 of these. I think we didn't actually see these earlier because we used to fight one of these earlier in the route, but I kind of routed that out because whoopsie. I figured that, okay, as you just saw, they have kind of a mean interaction where they can some of their attacks can hurt you even though you're in hit stun, which is very rude indeed. Oh, okay. So that attack, oh yeah, that attack that guy's doing right there with the left-right swings and then an overhead, that, okay, can you guys chill for a second? I'm trying to explain the fight here. This is very rude, inconsiderate. They keep doing, oh my god, please let me out, no. Oh, yeah,
damn it.
That's, as you can see there, they just hit you multiple times, and even though you're in hit stun and supposed to be invulnerable, they can still hit you. And they just kind of got on both sides of me, and I got stuck in the middle. That was very unfortunate. Usually, I don't get that unlucky. Usually, they just hit me, and then I can use a potion to heal. That was kind of...
Yeah, marathon run, I guess. Marathon run.
Yeah. I mean, there was a save right there that I could have taken and maybe should have taken.
I suppose
in
the skip
retrospect.
you did a little bit early with the guard is way harder than this fight. Perhaps in terms of consistency. So sometimes this is the things that, yeah, it's not that hard. We can go wrong in a very messy way like this.
Yeah, I mean, that fight is not necessarily easy, but it's definitely not like super hard unless you get unlucky with how their like attacks line up. I just couldn't find an opening there. And yeah, now you can see our guard friend here. He's not in position and he's actually walking the wrong way, so I'm actually gonna take an alternate route because I don't want to wait 2 minutes. We'll come back to him if I don't get the alternate strat in time. As I don't do this alternate strat too much, it might not... Oh, wow, I got the initial launch. That's a good start. As you can see, this strat is slower. But at least I don't have to wait for the guard. Okay, can I please launch? Please. Please, Wéko. Yes. That is much better. There we go. That's another way up to the tower. Totally intentional, of course.
Oh my god, that was so many jump in a really blind way. So
yeah, and the bad thing is, while you're flying through the air, you have almost no mid-air control. So if you jump slightly in the wrong direction, you just kind of bounce off the wall and then you fall all the way down. So you have to do everything again.
Oh, okay. So it's more like, yeah, an alternative strat, not a safe strat.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely not safer than the other one. It's just better than having to wait for the guard to come back.
Time for the revenge now.
Yeah, and this time I actually took the save, so I won't have to do that again. If I fail again, which hopefully I won't. Okay, right now they're behaving, they're attacking at the same time, which is nice because that means I can there's actually downtime in the middle where they become like safe to attack. Nope, that's not safe to attack. Okay, one of them is just decided to nope out of the fight. Nope, okay. It's just... When they do this attack where they charge green, that's the one where they can hit you through hit stun, so that's when you definitely want to back off and just kind of let them do their thing. Yeah, like that. No, thank you. Also, when they do the green attack, if they've already started swinging their sword, they will actually keep doing the attack even if you drain their health all the way. So it can actually happen that you kill them and then they still kill you.
As there is no stagger also, as I expect, so they can be they cannot be stunned if you eat them a certain amount of time. So
yeah, no, there's no complete stagger. There's like, if they're in like the right phase of attack, you can kind of stun them a little bit or interrupt their attack. But if they do the attack where they do have like the green charge around them, you cannot stagger them out of that. You just have to back off.
Okay.
Because otherwise they will just multi-hit you. And as I said, they go through hit stun.
Seems to be a pretty RNG part
so
far in the run.
It is not great. luckily, they are kind of the stand-in for the boss fight here, because as you can see, once again, behind the boss door, there is no boss to fight. Narcisio, who was holding on to the Pride mask, he's actually he's been consumed by the mask, so he's just, I guess he's just dead. Or maybe he's just very sick and not able to fight. Maybe we can look at it that way. Because Kevo here, he's saying that he'll take Narcisio with him, which kind of, the way it's phrased makes it sound like he isn't dead. But he definitely didn't look very well to me. Anyways, that was
Cleverly disguised himself.
easy way to get a mask. Once again, skipped a bunch in this area. Usually you're not supposed to just launch your way over the guard and go back straight into the tower, or just climb the mountain and jump over. Usually you like come into this area, then you get caught, then you get sent into the dungeon, you have to break out of the dungeon. It's kind of like Windfall Island and Wind Waker, I believe, where you get kind of sent in, and then you have to like sneak your way back out without getting caught by the guards patrolling and everything, get your stuff back. But we skip all of that by just jumping into the tower. Yeah, just did reload there to come straight back here. And now we're actually gonna go back to where it all began. We have collected 6 masks. And if you've been paying very close attention during the start of the run, you might have noticed that there was 6 tabs on the portal that we came out of. So what is there to do but go back from whence we came? You can see the portal opens now. If you try at the start of the game, it actually will not open. So yeah, as I said earlier, you do actually need all of the masks to open this one.
It should be such a crazy improvement if somehow you found a way to open this door without the mask. That should be such a short run.
That would be that would definitely have to be a new category, but it would also be insane. It would make the final fight a lot harder though, because you would have like. And would it make it that much harder? I mean, I barely have any. I have the boomerang actually. That helps quite a lot.
You didn't upgrade your sword also. You are basically with the very first sword of the game. Right?
Yeah, usually you can find like. Usually you get given a spear, like about a third of the way through, and then you can also find like the equivalent of the Master Sword. I think it's called the Demon Sword. You have to like collect the demon core and have it charged up, and then bring it to a place in the graveyard that I didn't go to, in order to get the fully charged demon sword. But I mean, the sword is very nice, but it's just way too slow to do that side quest to be worth it. So now what we do is to just deposit all of these masks that we've gathered into these conveniently placed receptacles. This doesn't seem ominous at all. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. The ominous whispers that happen every time we place a mask is also nothing to worry about. And as soon as we place the 6th mask, we can see a 7th alcove opens up. With a conspicuous symbol on it. If you've been paying attention to the UI, you might notice that looks awfully familiar. Because the 7th mask is, in fact, the shield that we picked up at the very start of the run. And you can see right here, the last shard that is missing from it was hovering at the top of this room. You could have actually seen it if I'd looked up, but I forgot to mention it. And yeah, this is Envy, who kind of... at the start of the run there's an explanation, but I haven't watched the lore in a long time, so he's just the big bad guy who
Since
did things
the beginning,
in the past.
it was your shield who's the bad guy.
Yeah. ironically, this fight is like kind of simple because you can just do this. It feels a bit mean to be doing this in the speedrun. I wish I could show off like a more interesting fight, but I'm sorry, this is just optimal. This is the least risky way to fight this guy. You just sit here, lock onto him, and dodge whenever he attacks until he grows tired and starts actually doing this. That boomerang throw in the cutscene, by the way, doesn't actually do damage to him because he only becomes vulnerable as soon as the cutscene is over. However, if I do it right, we can...
You basically just brute force the pattern, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I actually did... I don't think that's quite halfway. I don't think that's quite halfway.
2 cycles, perhaps?
It's possible to 2-cycle him, but I don't think I'm quite in range for it. In order to 2-cycle him, you basically need to get to him as fast as possible, and I failed the first attempt to get over the wall. Like, usually there's like a maze of like these little thorny tentacles that you have to go through in order to get to the middle and attack him. But we just use the jump roll to skip over that. So we get to wail on him for a lot longer. And I got really close to 2-cycle range, but I think I'm just shy of it. In case I'm not shy of it, time is as soon as his health bar runs all the way out. But I'm probably gonna need another cycle.
I believe in the 2-cycle. I believe in it.
No, that's not gonna happen. Not with a 4th attempt over the wall. Yep, just shy, as you can see.
So close.
But it is definitely possible. I just was slightly too slow to get to him. But yeah, it'll probably be about like 3 more hits before he's dead. So as soon as he becomes vulnerable again, time will be coming up very shortly afterwards.
You see, people, this is why big guy in Dark Souls are the weakest, because you can just roll between the legs.
Exactly. He has a ton of other attacks too. I'm just kind of baiting him into always using the melee attack because it's the easiest to deal with. I swear this boss fight is a lot cooler when you do it casually. And
that was clean.
That is time.
Wéko fiercely fought the demonic incarnation of envy in a legendary battle.
Yeah, that was Wéko the Mask Gatherer. I want to say a huge shout out to the developers at Zero Games. They were very, very helpful, both when we were routing the speedrun and also when I was working on an autosplitter for the game. They were more than willing to supply like details about how the game is actually implemented in order to help with that, and they're very supportive of the community, both speedrunning and also just casual enjoyers. So definitely check the game out if you found this at all interesting. And yeah, shout outs to everybody else in the community. I definitely had a great time.
And shout outs to you, Leemyy. Thank you a lot for this awesome runs with so many tricks. And definitely, I will definitely check this game out. This is so chill to have a game with the gameplay close to Dark Souls. I never heard about this game. I will definitely pick it out. It's amazing. So yeah. So shoutouts to you too, and thank you for these runs once again, and we will be ready to get the bonus run set up, which is spinner clips cut it out together in a few minutes. Take it away.